Okay, in this video we're going to discuss how to prep a hardwood floor. I'm going to be starting this floor. I'll be posting videos as I go along. I have been doing floors a very long time. Now, when you see a floor like this, first thing that sticks out are the stains. You never know till you put the sander on it. Also, the finish. Now, it can go one of two ways. If it's a fairly modern finish, usually, from the mid-60s, something like that, upward, it's fairly modern. The modern finishes were engineered. At some point, they started engineering them to be easy to remove. Or if it's shellac, that could be your worst nightmare on steroids. A lot of times, like a floor like this, I can do in 2 sandings. I'm gonna be removing all these tackless boards and staples. That's the first fun job. I use a hammer, a flat bar, and I actually, to get the staples, forget that plier crap, like you gotta use wire cutters, to get a grip on it, but for the most part, I use the flat bar, and as long as they're not the really long staples, they come out. Also, I forgot, which I'm about to go get, I got an ice breaker, and I grind that to a very sharp, I grind it to a sharp edge, and this way you can, be standing up. What is that? Yeah, you see we got a nail here. For these, don't go crazy. You're better off just hammering them down, and you can fill it. But I got an ice breaker. I don't have it here at the moment. I'm going to be getting it. But anyway, that you can attack it from standing up, and that's easier. And, and then the wire cutters, they're way better than pliers. You just grab the staple gently, that sharp edge grabs into it, enabling you to gently pull it out. You rock it, that's all. Pretty self-explanatory. If it ain't, maybe you shouldn't attempt this. But we have all kinds of stains. Now, if you want a natural finish, you're going to be living with them stains, because what happens, and even if they look like they all came out, when you put the finish on it, they pop. So what I do in rentals, or this was a rental, it's going to be placed up for sale. What I do is I stain it a darker color. I use a lot of oil-based stains. I find they're way easier to work with and faster than water-based stains. And, I'll be covering that in another video. But however, I use a dark color, like a dark walnut, Provincial, Early American. The darker the color, you're never going to make it go away. But say you use something in the dark walnut range, what it does is it camouflages this stuff. I got to see if I could post some before and after pics I got. But it camouflages the stains. And I mean, you could, turn a floor like this into a very good looking, floor. And if you like wood and you don't want to deal with carpet, and especially if you got pets like I do, who like to puke, piss, poop, all of that good stuff, your carpet is trash in no time. But, so in this yeah, as I was saying, if you have the shellac-based finishes, which were used mostly in the pre-60s, they will gum up your paper in a heartbeat. So then you have to use a really rough paper. And, you know, I normally attack a floor like this with, you know, you can use a 20 grit, you know, if you have the shellac, or even a 16 grit. And, you know, the job of that paper is to get the finish off so that the next paper can actually sand the wood. But if it's a normal modern polyurethane like I'm hoping I have here, I will start out with the old-fashioned and time-proven 40 grit. And then, you know, there's 2 levels of sanding. You could take it from there. And I will be giving that info in the sanding video, but that I hope to upload in the near future as I progress on this. But for now, it's going to be pulling out staples. And then, you know, I do go around quickly and hit it with filler, which is, you know, what you really want to do. They do have other types of filler for after you get a coat on, and you know, you could do that basically in between coats if need be. Depends how crazy you want to get. Actually, when you stain it and coat it and everything, a lot of that don't show up. A lot of these staples, even though there'll be little tiny staple holes, they're very hard to see. So it depends how crazy you want to get. And a lot of times you'll fill something, and as you're sanding, they sand right out, the filler anyway, or it will vibrate out. I'm going to be using a drum sander. I don't think I mentioned that. If you're going to do a floor, you know, they do have 110 sanders, even though I've only seen a few. I know somebody that ran a business with one. I use 220, and you know, once you use 220, you will never use a 110 again. You know, like, I guess they're only good if you're going up, you know, multiple flights of stairs and you don't want to carry a heavy 220, but for me, it's worth the work. And, yeah, so the carpet's been removed. Next is the tackless board and staples. And then any big holes I will fill. And, then it's cleanup time, and then we start sanding. This floor is going to be stained an early American color, which is a brown, as per requested by the homeowner. And then I'm going to be giving him a few coats of, you know, a high quality water-based finish. I could tell you nightmare stories from the old finishes, but the new water-based finishes are actually pretty good. You can get crazy with that, or you can do a pretty darn good job, like you'll see here, just with very, you know, minimal equipment, and I will show you, you know, the easy way to do it as we progress. Anyway, peace out. Have a great day, and keep looking for the next videos. They're going to be coming. Bye-bye.